Todd.
Joe, god damn it.
Todd number 2.
Oh man, two tunes.
I've been called worse.
Alright guys, so we're back here, another episode of Drunken Public. I'm here back at Oak Cliff Brewing with a few new guests. We got Todd finally on the podcast. I know we talked about it for a long time, and then Todd. Joe, god damn it.
Todd number 2.
Oh man, two tunes.
I've been called worse.
I'm really bad with names.
There you go.
Jacob, who got all this together, we ran into each other at Crafting Growlers. I almost forgot Crafting Growlers for a second. I forgot a long time ago. I'm horrible with names, and I'm not even gonna try. I forgot your name, sir. Walker. God damn it, I'm a piece of shit. So welcome. Sorry guys, I suck.
It's all right. We've been feeding you beer for a couple hours now.
for a little bit, but
Count down again if you need to and restart.
no, I think that'd be perfect. Salud, guys.
Cheers.
That is a perfect example of how a shitty person I am. No, but thank you for guys having me on the podcast. Thank you for coming on, hanging
Our
out
pleasure.
with me. So last time we were here, you guys weren't really open yet. So the place changed up a little bit. The only thing we had here when we were here last time, if people see the footage right now, it's if you watch on YouTube, you can see a little clip of it where we just had made in Oak Cliff, but there was none of these seats here except for that big long table.
That's right.
None of the beers were on the market yet, and now it's tremendously different. You guys fully open. You got all these tables here. You got games. You got merch now, and we're still working on putting local artwork on there. I know you're gonna talk about that before, but it's beautiful, man. And then you had a bunch of events here. You had a barbecue place last time I was here, cooking out. We had a few bottle shares with Jerry.
Dallas Beer Squad.
Jerry. Forgetting names left and right. God damn, I'm a loser. But no, so you guys are doing well, man. I'm happy to see success for you guys.
We're trying.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
So
Appreciate it.
super excited. Well, super excited for you. You've been brewing some badass beers. I heard through Jacob that the Hef is moving. People loving
It's
it.
doing real good. Yeah.
But I think the Black Lager is underrated.
It is. I mean, people.
Damn black lager.
It scares away the entry level folks, and it's not crazy enough for the beer geeks. But it's a great beer. Joel's been brewing that one for when he was homebrewing. He had a lot of success with that, and it's a great beer. And like you said, the Hefeweizen, it's moving real well. All the growler and crowler fill spots have picked it up, and it's on here and there around town. And the new lager, I mean, that's what I'm drinking now.
I think I have two of those.
We just got an order from Mama Tried for the Hef.
Oh, congratulations.
It goes out tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's on at Barcadia now too, so those are two new accounts. But yeah, even outside of the growler filling stations.
Arcadia. I feel like I know that.
Barcadia's right off of Knox Henderson.
Okay. Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
right.
So it's not just a growler filling station. We're taking it. We're trying to take over the
Of
market.
course,
right
Jacob
there.
knows way more than me where we're at. He's been hitting the streets and
Brandon.
You got a black lager.
I should have.
He said black lager, and I was like, triggered.
I should have got one for myself. So, for people who don't know, Todd, you're the head brewer here.
Yep.
You help make some of the
my
recipes.
title is the Director of Brewing Operations. I made that title up.
I like the title.
Operate your brewer.
I do like the title.
Just opening up, it's us. What you see is, this is it. We're
This the core crew right
us
here.
four are doing everything.
Literally the only
here.
four.
Like today, we had a lot of stuff going on out in production, and thankfully Walker, brewed the batch of beer we had, and I've spent all day doing cellar work and cleaning and keeping the floors clean and spraying tanks down, and it's fun though. It's work, but
It's fun work. It's
love
busy
it.
work.
Yeah.
People don't realize. I was talking to Jacob earlier. I've heard a lot of people come in, try to do like a collab beer that not really into brewing, and then they realize how much work it is.
yeah, I get asked a lot. Just this morning, somebody asked me if we serve the beer the same day that we brew it, and it's
a common
laughable
question.
for us.
It's a common question.
When it's like we know how this process goes, but a lot of the general public, they they think it's like making Kool-Aid. You just mix a couple things together and put it in a keg, and there you go. But it's, it is work, but it's fulfilling work.
It's a long process. I
It
know. I've tried. I think not all the beers you guys ever brewed here, but a vast majority, and I've liked them all. For a person come off the street and they ask you what beer to get, what do you think they should gravitate to?
I usually will recommend, if I know nothing about them, I recommend the lager, because the mass consumers, I mean, of course, it's no secret, the Bud Miller Coors, they control the market, and most of those they're adjunct lagers. They're made with rice and corn and some cheaper ingredients, and this is an all malt. I don't want to say a version of those beers, but it's in the same wheelhouse. Somebody who is a Budweiser or Coors Original drinker, this isn't gonna be super off-putting to them like an IPA maybe, or a giant stout.
I didn't think about that.
Or and the Hefeweizen or the Farmhouse, those are yeast-driven beers, so they're flavors that the everyday drinking public aren't used to. But this, anybody can drink this beer. If
you drink beer, this is definitely drink. But this is better. It's better than those typical beers.
It's quality. We use, like everybody says, it's cliche. But we use the best quality ingredients that we can get. Mm-hmm. No fillers. There's no rice, no corn, no. It's an all malted barley beer.
Well, I didn't realize that there were fillers in here. This is how new to beer I am.
Corn and rice are a lot of those are subsidized crops, and they're cheaper ingredients for the big breweries when they're buying millions of tons a year of them, and a lot of high fructose corn syrup and things like that in those beers, and we don't use any of that. I have nothing against using rice and corn in beers. I use it, but for specific reasons, not to drive the cost of the beer down.
No, that's good to know. It's information people don't know. So when you come in here and you buy the lager, it's something you'll be familiar to, but better.
Yep.
So that's good information right there, man.
Because the base, the two big styles, there's ales and there's lagers, and all the Bud Miller Coors beers, those are all lagers. So this falls under kind of that big umbrella of that kind of basic style, I guess. The two.
The public likes.
Yeah.
See, I realized I didn't like those beers recently, as I'm learning about beers and styles and stuff like that, and then I'm trying to go to my roots of beers that I like. So my family's Dominican. We're from Dominican Republic. We have a beer called Presidente, and I thought it was just like every other Mexican style beer. I thought it was a lager, but when we bought the beer, I realized it was a Pilsner. That's why I like that more than I like the Mexican lagers. It's like
Pilsner's it's under that kind of umbrella of a lager.
Is it cleaner though? Is it like crispier?
Pilsner's usually they're a little higher hopped, maybe higher carbonated. So yeah, they will be
okay,
crispy.
that's what I was thinking. Like it was like a crisp, clean flavor.
Somebody had to.
Double fist it.
I'm triple fisting over here. I don't know if I got. I accidentally. I don't know how this happened.
You got the new baby in your hands, though.
I know. So we got this. We gonna talk about this? The name drop?
Yeah.
That's the actual name of it. The name drop. You guys haven't released this yet.
It's a somber with, and that's how it's pronounced, by the way, somber.
Or sombre.
It's somber with
Sombre with the
Imperial
hombres.
Stout.
with coffee and cocoa nibs in it, and both of those sourced locally. Obviously, the nibs are not from here, but or the coffee for that matter, but they're both roasted locally. Who did we get this from?
5 Mile Chocolate and Oak Cliff Coffee Roasters.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5 Mile Chocolate gave us the Maya Mountain Nibs, and Oak Cliff Coffee Roasters gave us the Cosageche coffee. So those are all of our name drops. It's the name. But yeah, we'll have that out in the market here in a bit. It's just going to be called Sombre with nibs and beans.
You may see it.
Oh, we're not gonna call it name drop.
We'd have to get label approved and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
like
do that.
that's just
Fuck
BS. It's like it's Sombre with nibs and beans, or Sombre with nibs and beans.
Somewhere. What I would say with this is, what I really like about it is now it's still pretty cold, pretty cool to the touch. I wanted to warm up a little bit more, so I'm probably going to drink it towards later of the podcast. But it tastes. I had it earlier. It tastes as it warms up tremendously better, and you don't taste the alcohol in it. That is a fucking beautiful sight. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's a fun thing with those big beers is like they change during the pour. So you drink it at first, you get a different flavors, different aromas, different heat from the alcohol. Then as it warms, the flavor develops. So it's a pretty cool thing just to see it kind of transition right in front of you.
No, I tremendously. That's why I like stouts. That's why I like that style of beer. Because sitting down drinking a lager or a pilsner, any of that Hefeweizen, typically when you go to the store, you drink, say, no offense to Miller Lite, Bud Light. They only taste good cold. As it gets warmed up, you have, in my opinion, you have to force yourself to drink it or shotgun it. I'm gonna chug this rest of this beer and get a new one. But with a good stout, especially this one right here, Sombre. I said it right?
It's okay. It's okay.
Close enough. Close enough.
I don't want to confuse anybody.
Sorry, I'm trying. But when you get a quality stout like this, it's a journey that you sit through. Because when you first get it, it's cold, of course, but it's delicious. It's still delicious cold. But then as you sit and hanging out with your friends, and usually drinking, hanging out with your friends, talking, it gets better.
Yeah, because the cold. I mean, anything we eat that's cold, it numbs our taste buds, and so when you're drinking it warm, you're not stunning your taste buds, and you're tasting a lot of tasting stuff that's there when you wouldn't before.
Okay, there was one over there.
I poured one specifically for you.
That's
okay.
That's twice somebody's been triggered and just got a beer.
No, this is the point of the podcast. This is
Beers back here.
Oh wait, did I just mess up?
No,
Nobody
this
can
is
see
drunken
him, but-
public. This is drunken public. We come here to drink. We come to hang out. Mostly we hang out. So
Should I go grab the rest of the building?
No, we'll be here in 20 minutes.
Draft system over here.
what I would say
Turn it
is
to a
thank you for
party.
that phenomenal beer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate people drinking it. I appreciate people getting what we're doing and getting beers like that. They're not cheap to make. They're not cheap on the consumer's side. But we try to justify some of the price points on these, but we wouldn't put out something subpar in quality. Luckily, Joel has been real good about letting us use the best quality ingredients, and we're nitpicky when it comes to quality. And
But you have to be sometimes, right? You can't just.
You have to be all
I
the
wish
time.
more people were.
Fair enough. No, fair enough.
We won't tell you how many batches we've dumped because they didn't meet the quality.
Yeah, no shit. We've been brewing since the end of June, and we've dumped batches of beer. It didn't.
I didn't realize that.
They didn't turn out how we wanted.
Yeah.
Something. One part of it, one way or another, wasn't what we wanted. So, and we didn't want to put our name on that and put it out there in the public. And I'm stoked that he holds quality up on the same pedestal as I do.
You're stoked that I dump beer sometimes.
Well,
It's amazing.
Alligators gotta drink
Honestly, some of the breweries that they just try to put Band-Aids on things and
Just trying to get the whole
add
neighborhood
fruit
drunk.
to something if it doesn't taste right.
I didn't
or
realize
if it's
that.
off flavor.
That is true.
Or call something
Yeah.
a Belgian when it. It's
not. No.
I won't start.
No.
talking shit on it.
We can save that after we finish recording. What I would say is that now you mentioned that, when I think about quality, I think of some of the breweries I like. Now, Manhattan Project is one of my favorite breweries.
Yeah.
I don't keep that secret. I've talked about them many times on the podcast. Carl, Misty are phenomenal people. But
Their assistant brewer Eric, he was just over here earlier hanging out.
They also stress quality. They also stress uniformity and quality over
Yeah.
everything else. If it doesn't meet their panel style standards, they don't pursue it. If all three of them can't like it, they won't pursue a batch of beer. And that's something that you will appreciate as a consumer, because when you look at the name brand, because you currently have 1 or 2 chances to keep a consumer. When you look at Oak Cliff, you look at Manhattan Projects, when you go grab their beer, and you're like, okay, this is my first time trying this style of beer. And if it's not a good batch or a subpar batch, people remember that, and they always refer that to the company, to the brand.
Oh, I'm like that. I'll try a beer, and if it's no good, I'm probably not going to try any more beer from that brewery.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
I mean, even in the market, the fact that these guys, have super, super high standards, when I take it out consistently, and they're like, "Yep, you nailed it, you nailed it, you nailed it." I mean, I was up in Denton all morning yesterday, and they're like, "Dude, like the whole lineup was legit. Like, you guys are producing legit quality beer." And
Well, it makes your job easier, right? 'Cause
makes
you
my
go out
job, yeah, makes my job a lot easier. But at the same time, it's a constant battle in the market, getting on a tap wall. But at the same time, when we've got a pretty good core lineup that's consistent, and then you release one of those, it's like, holy shit, you guys are like literally serious.
Killing
so it goes a long way.
Can I talk about it? So you can kind of see it on screen right now. If you watch this on YouTube, his badass shirt he's wearing.
You cannot buy those in the tap room.
Coming soon.
Joe's buying them right now.
There's one person in the world that has badass shirts like that.
Right here, Jacob. No, it's a badass shirt.
Gonna have to buy 'em.
It's beautiful. So, but you gotta buy it for the team because you gotta keep it different, right?
You got to rep out in the market. And,
Yeah.
I don't want to be walking around in just t-shirts
Like me.
Nah,
You've been delivering beer today too, though, so it's not like
I need some of those.
I've been out in the market too, where I'm like, been delivering beer, and I've got my hoodie on and t-shirt on too. But yeah, I don't know.
it's a nice look and it helps out.
man.
But what I would say is congratulations on we talked about it, we kind of glossed over it earlier, but picking up a new spot for the tap.
Yeah, we've been. I think the lager and the hef have caught on with the mass consumers because every brewery's got that one beer that does a ton of volume. One of these two beers is going to do it because they're just super crushable. They're both good. We unintentionally kind of fell into the hef category, and these guys nailed it with the beer. And I took it out in the market, and people are like, "Holy shit, this is a legit hef!" And it's getting placed everywhere. So.
No, I can see why. I'm not a big Hefeweizen fan, that style. It's not my go-to. But there's only two places that I enjoy it. I enjoy, I'm forgetting the name for now, but your guys is one of them. I had it when you guys opened up. And it's, again, I'm not a I'm not a fan of the style. But you really do appreciate when someone does it right.
Right. Yeah.
And I appreciate it. Now, I'd rather have, like, some of your styles, like this, Sunday? I'm saying it wrong. Now I'm thinking too much.
Right.
I'm thinking too much.
Somber.
Don't think about it.
You can call it somber. Everybody calls it
I'm saying it
somber.
wrong now. I'm overthinking it. But I'd rather
the
have.
wrong way.
I'd rather have this.
Say any way you like.
Yeah.
No, how many you've had?
I'm gonna get it right.
It's funny. We had even at Dallas Observer Fest when we had this first batch out. We're in Oak Cliff, and so we've got a lot of Mexican culture in our backyard. And I had a lot of Latinos walking up to our booth, calling it sombre. I need a sombre. And it's like, dude, call it what you want, as long as you're drinking it. I don't care.
Get it.
But they're drinking it. I mean, and the Latin culture's picking up craft beer now too, and
That's what's super exciting.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to touch on it earlier, later on in the podcast, but since we brought it up, kind of. You guys are in a minority community.
Yep.
The tacos are great.
Not too far from an all-black community, and you're
Yeah.
really close in the heart of a Latin community.
Yep.
And I'm glad to see it in these communities. I'm also glad to see people. We talked this on with Dallas Beer Squad before, but I'm glad to see more minorities in craft beer.
For sure.
And being near where they live and places they hang out helps because they enjoy it, and now it brings it to like, you know what, I want to do something like that. Where can I go homebrew? Have access to it and realize there's some good beer out there and I can drink it.
yeah.
You're never gonna hit 100% of the market, but you just introduce the people.
No, it's a massive thing. It's one of the reasons, when I started Oak Cliff Brewing, it's like I want to do it down here. I want to do it in Oak Cliff. I don't,
Yeah.
it was hard to find a location. I was like, I've got to do it here because this is where the community is, and Oak Cliff is so stinking. What's the word? Diverse.
Super diverse.
I mean, you got North Oak Cliff, you got South Oak Cliff. They look worlds different. But the cool thing about it is it all kind of converges here in the tap room. So we've got people from all over Oak Cliff, and we get a good Hispanic representation in the tap room. It's like, I want that. It's like, we need that because that's a big part of what Oak Cliff is. If those guys and gals aren't in here, then we're doing something wrong. But they're coming, and they like the beer, and sometimes they'll just like, give me the lightest thing you got. It's like, I drink these premium imports, or and we'll start them with a lager, but then it allows them to progress, and that's what we need to do, and that's
Right.
a lot of we got guys come in that a whole table come in, they'll just drink nothing but black lager. It's like, that's awesome.
We need more black lagers out in the market. Just FYI.
You guys need to buy more black lager in the market.
Yeah, that's a tough one out the market.
It's selling though. I've got it. I mean, we've got it in the account. We got a truck yard. I mean, we placed it there, and we've been going through some beer there.
We've got as many black lager handles out as anything.
Yeah.
It's just, when you're picking it out of a lineup, it's good because it surprises you. It's very flavorful, but still light and easy drinking. It's just from the consumer standpoint. It's like, hey, I want a lager. I'm not looking for something black. It's like, hey, I want a black beer. I'm not looking for a lager. I'm looking
This
for a
can't be
porter or
lighter
stout.
than this. But
Yeah.
this in all reality is lighter than this.
It is
By definition.
it's a dichotomy that we just have to get people over that. If they can taste it, then it's like, damn, that's
That's the
good.
truth.
And we can chug a lot of that. But anyway,
Side note, what I want to mention is anybody who comes to Oak Cliff Brewing and enjoys their beer, but also want it where they live, just talk to your local place, whether it be a growler fill station or a local bar that drinks craft beer. Just mention to them, like, hey, if you get a chance, call Oak Cliff. I like some of their beers. Check them out. See if you like them. Bring it to the tap room. It's I just want to see you guys everywhere.
yeah, that helps. I mean,
I know Jacob's only one person,
Yep.
but he could work 48 hours a day.
Well, Joel and I both are in the market. I mean, we're both out. Not only, we've delivered our fair share of kegs, but we're also out. And he'll call me and be like, I'm in Cedar Hill, or I'm in Waxahachie, and and he's picked up some
All the
killer
way to Hatchet.
accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at College Street Pub down there, Plaid Turtle. Yeah, we're.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
It's just a daily grind, but part of it's education. People are scared of they think craft, and they think I'm not educated. I'm like, dude, you don't have to be. We had a tattoo artist move in our building, Wolf, and he came over and introduced himself, and he just wanted to check out the spot, showing his family around. He's like, oh, I just drink PBR. I'm like, I got you. Poured him a lager, and he was like, dude, it's my new jam, and you're in my building. So he's been coming here with his family and hanging out, and so
Clients.
you don't have to be, super educated. You can just appreciate good beer. That's all it
This is the point
takes.
of the podcast. I don't know shit about beer.
Yeah.
And Drew knows a little bit more about beer than I do. But the point of this podcast is we don't know shit, but we like drinking.
Yeah.
And as we drink more, I learn more. And as you drink more as an individual, you learn more. When I started this podcast, I used to say, I hate IPAs. I hate Hefeweizens. I hate this. Because what I was introduced was bad beer.
Yep.
But then when you realize there's multiple layers to this beer, there's different styles and variants of different beers, you know what your palate is and you gravitate to it. I like IPAs. I like New England style
Freshness matters a lot with a lot of those beers that you mentioned too.
quality
It's-
matches. Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes back to quality of things.
So
Quality, center of the diamond.
it has to be. It has to be. The ingredients, quality of the ingredients, quality of the
Well,
batch making.
we're super critical. We're sending each other out to make sure our beer is still
John Hancock live on television.
kept in
Do
quality.
it.
Right, there you go.
Whoa, do
Blend
it,
this.
yeah.
There's a
Let's
blend.
talk about blends.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're not opposed.
I guess
to
I
beer
might as well
around
get a
here.
refill. Let me
Yeah.
top you off.
All of a sudden, you have an Oktoberfest.
I do.
Let me
You
top
do.
this off.
Yeah.
What I would say, what's beautiful about this is I also want to talk about blends similar to the diversity of community here. So blends, you guys do one of the few actual on-site blends you guys do here compared to other craft breweries.
Yeah.
And there's other people who do it, but I think craft breweries here, you guys do it better.
Some people are totally against it. So some people think it's sacrilegious to mix one beer.
I was that person
Do you thought it was why did you think it was sacrilegious?
because we make because I'm old.
I'm pretty sure you're probably the youngest
And,
person on the table. No, I'm playing. Probably is.
And these are all based on specific styles,
Yeah.
and beer should be enjoyed by style,
Okay.
as opposed to the abomination of a blend.
I feel you.
But then, thank you. But then someone came in. It was actually the week before we opened. It was like, oh, maybe did we have blends from the beginning?
I was mixing.
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
I
we
was
did.
Lady
We did.
glasses and the fruit
No, it
beer.
was
I
like-
was-
We didn't have blends
When I
on
came- when
opening
we,
weekend.
When we did
Yeah.
hit the podcast before, there was
Yeah.
no mention of blends. There
Okay.
was no mention of any of that. What it was great beers you guys had.
Okay, so some lady came by opening weekend. She's like, do y'all do blends? I was like, no. She's like, well, what'd she want? It may have been split personality. She's like, well, can I do a half Hefeweizen, half Sombre? I was like, all right. It's So I gave it to her, and she tried it, and she loved it, and I tried it. I was like, damn, that's pretty good. So
That's one of the more far out ones, like
Yeah,
the
chocolate
kind of
covered
banana flavored.
I would never have thought about that.
No, most people would never imagine.
But yeah, from that point, I was like, hey, this is kind of a thing. So what else do we have? And we didn't get brewing quick enough to do an Oktoberfest, so we decided, hey, what if we do a little bit of black lager with our export lager at the time, and you end up with an amber lager,
Yeah.
which is kind of, we call it Mocktoberfest, and it's got
and tasting it side by side with an Oktoberfest, it's. I'm not shitting.
That's it right there.
It tastes like an Oktoberfest. It tastes
I
like
have
a
to
Vienna
try it.
lager.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it, but I will have to try it.
So
I don't
yeah.
deny it that it does, but get you.
So we kind of embraced the
Give me
blend.
another lager, please.
What I would say is this has been a theme on the podcast lately is because I'm gonna do a whiskey podcast soon because I like whiskey. I don't know if you guys like
I
whiskey.
like whiskey.
So I'm a big fan of whiskey. I'm a big fan of tequila, not tequila, but rum, I should say. But I drink good tequila and good mezcal. But what I feel is if you enjoy something, I don't review it on a professional level, nor do I rate it on a professional level. So if I'm just a consumer, let me drink it as I see fit.
Yeah.
Now this lady who is professional disagreed. She said you won't get the best profile unless you drink it the right way. I'm like, fair enough. But you do this for a living. You write reviews and you have competition. You like a judge at competition. I get it.
I'm gonna drink it like a normal person.
But I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
drink
enjoy
it
it like a normal person.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you if I like it or not.
So I brought her my favorite. So how we met was I brought her my favorite whiskey. She brought hers, and then she served it the way she wanted to. Then I tried it. Cool. Not gonna complain. Then I served it the way I wanted to. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I served it the way I wanted to. What I drink whiskeys, one ice cube, and then a splash of water. In my opinion, opens up the flavor profile a little bit more. But she was like, I'm not drinking that. Like, we're in a whole debate before we even get to the second glass. So I say this story to mention this, that I think it is sacrilegious maybe to mix beers, but shit, drink what the fuck you want. Drink it how you want.
That's what I quit. I mean, I
You spent
quit.
the money, right?
I quit
Do what you
beating
want.
people up over, them liking Bud Light or Coors Light a long time ago. Yeah, I don't give a shit what people like. I hope they will buy and drink and like the beer that I make. But if not, drink what you like.
No,
Like
that's
I,
100%.
I drink more Coors Original than any other beer.
I do
So
like
I'm
Coors
not
Original.
I'm not gonna sit here and shit on people that
Yellow
drink Bud
Bellies.
Light because it's a different brand of the mass conglomerate brewers. It's like I drink what I like. It's sometimes I like to just drink beer and not have to think about it, not think about what went into it, what the mash temperature was, what yeast they used, what hops, and all of this, and that's fine. I love doing that as well. But when I'm out at a show or something, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go for a Coors or a Lone Star. And there's nothing wrong with people who choose those beers as their. I'm sorry, Joel. As their, I can see you glaring at me. out of the corner of my eye.
So you have a new name, Mr. Coors.
We might have been drinking Yellow Bellies when we were cleaning our kegs for the first time.
Maybe you won't deny or confirm this.
We were here on a Saturday, and it was a shit ton
That
of
was
kegs
a
to
hot
clean.
day, too.
That was a hot day.
It was hot, super hot, and we just had a bunch of Yellow Bellies. Like, fuck it, we're here on Saturday. We're
during
drinking
those days
Yellow
while we were
Bellies.
still before we were opening up, there was a lot of corporate lager drank out there in that brew house.
Oh,
What I would say is why I like the beer community more than I do the wine community. What I would say, and no offense to wine people or any other
Defend
style.
the wine community all you want.
Yeah, but I do it a lot. I just don't want to just portray like they're shitty people. But what I do enjoy about the beer community is this: it's a level entry where majority of people will say drink what you want because at the end of the
A
day,
lot less pretentiousness.
that's a good way of
But I mean, you do have that certain. I mean, there are.
But only on the
don't get me
internet.
wrong, there's plenty
Only
of beer
on the-
geeks that are pretentious.
only on the
in
internet though.
breweries.
Hey,
Todd,
only
what do your
pretentious on the
knuckles
internet.
say?
Because when you meet them in person,
Yeah,
What's your knuckles?
I can be pretentious at times too.
no, but it's what I find. Like on the internet, everybody's pretentious in certain things, like music,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has a super critical
like.
thing about it. But in person, I've met more weird wine people who are, good word to say, pretentious versus beer drinkers. A lot of times they're like, well, this is not gonna good. This is what I like about it, blah blah blah, and this is why you should like it. But outside of those rare occasions, they're like, man, if you don't like it, that's fine. Here's something you might like, or you like it, great, cool, drink it. and drink it, whatever, how you want to do it. Just fucking, we all going down the same route. We trying to get drunk, have a good time. And
Beer brings people together.
That it does. On that note, too, you guys have a lot of events here. A lot of local events. We have this week that we're doing the podcast. You having a puppy adoption event here.
We have an adoption event on Saturday. We've got our first Saturday yoga. We have tonight.
I will now pretending I will not
bridal shower.
I will not do the yoga.
Bridal shower. We got a bridal shower.
You don't do yoga,
sometime.
Bro, I'm 300
Saturday,
pounds.
like, right
I'll do yoga if you do
Hey, it'll
yoga.
stretch you out.
I'll do yoga.
Yoga's good.
You do
Walk-
yoga?
Walker does yoga.
I
Walker
bet.
does
We're gonna,
hot
I'm gonna hold
yoga.
you too. If I do yoga, you gotta be there
Hell
with
no.
me.
I'll do it.
I'm 300 pounds. Literally, you look like you do yoga.
Slender.
Recently.
Oh, you moved to Oak Cliff and all of a sudden you're like yogi.
It made me.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm
bad.
not shitting though. When I was
feel
doing
better.
yoga regularly, that was the best my body ever felt. I mean, my bones.
should go back.
my
Maybe we should
joints
come
were
Saturday.
creaking. I should.
What I will say is I will not be here for this first weekend for yoga here, but I will attend one. I promise that.
Oh yeah,
You get a
Promise
free
that.
beer.
it's a good show.
If anything else, you
I
get a free
probably,
beer.
I probably won't drink the beer afterwards. Listen, I'm not flexible at all. Not even a little bit.
Because you don't do yoga.
I don't. Not even a little bit. Even at my best, I wasn't flexible. But I will do it. You know what? Because I love you guys and I do want to support you guys. So I'll take some pictures, hang out. And,
$10.
No, we do. But what you were saying, we do have quite a few events here, and it's the building that we're in kind of lends to that as well.
That's true.
We're gonna have the first Thursday of every month will be a recurring big building wide. What you call
It's
it?
that- yeah, it's like an art show.
event. And the brewery will be involved in that and be opened up, and it kind of opens up and gives people access to the other stuff throughout the building. And
Yeah.
they,
Other 110,000 square feet that we're in.
yeah, because there's other retail stuff throughout here. I mean, we got a bakery, coffee shop next door. Right next door to them is a barber shop. Like Jacob
Sour
mentioned
grapes
earlier, we got a
beer.
tattoo shop in the building. There's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, a lot of
Sour grapes is in the
artists,
building.
creatives.
Graffiti artist, yeah.
And Stash, of course, you know,
bunch of
doing
the
the
furniture here.
wood and metal stuff downstairs. So that's one of the cool things about the location we're in is we have all this other stuff going on in this building, and we all collaborate on stuff together. And that's the first the first Thursday thing is a kind of a culmination of that.
Well, it helps each other out, build each other's
Yeah.
markets out. Yeah, that's
I mean,
phenomenal.
Stash they built most of the furniture, or if
Actually,
not
what time is
all
it,
of
Joe?
the furniture that you
They're gonna
see.
be showing up in 10
They'll be
minutes.
here in about like 15 minutes.
You'll start seeing them trickle in.
It's a cool spot that we're in here. Not only in this Oak Cliff wise, but just the building that we're in.
That's the genius
Yeah.
of Todd 2.0. Sorry.
Does that mean you're the better version of Tude?
Yeah, 2.0. That's why he envisioned all this.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
regentrification.
Not even-
Sorry, Todd. Tude.
Wow. This is going to be a
2.0.
battle. It's going to be a battle to the death.
No.
We're gonna do an Indian leg wrestle. It's coming
Indian
up.
leg wrestling. I don't want to be a part of that.
That's Joel's go-to decision making.
Right, right.
I'm not flexible. You gotta
That's
get
Todd hasn't
how we
taken me
decide
up on it
things.
yet. He always gives up.
See, I feel like you're flexible and strong with your legs. I'm not.
Because he's
flexible.
Slender Man.
Oh shit! No wonder. No, what I would say is that you guys do unique events just supporting different people. I know last time I was here, I said earlier you had a barbecue guy here.
We had tamales one time.
You had tamales here.
We have tamales
Paella.
tomorrow night.
Boom.
Friday night.
Tomorrow night.
La Guadalupana, around the corner. Abel's our boy. He
Yeah.
he used to own Dallas Beer Kitchen, but yeah, he hooks us up with good tacos and.
I mean, Abel's been a good partner of ours since the beginning.
Helps us
They
get
were
some
serving
beer.
food at our grand opening. I mean, I get all of my fruit for all the fruit beers. I'm
Yeah.
buying fresh fruit from him.
Nice.
All the mangoes that go into Mango House, those are all Mexican mangoes that I've bought right here in Oak
Local.
Cliff
100% local.
from Abel La Guadalupana. And
Abel's, yeah. And if you're in the area, go down there and eat.
absolutely, yeah.
So like, I'm having dinner. I
Food
know
is
I'm having
phenomenal. It's traditional
The
Mexican.
That's what I was saying about
Good.
good tacos.
dinner. You do what's talking about. I know where I'm having dinner after this podcast.
The more dangerous the neighborhood, the better the tacos.
It correlates to what I usually say. What I say is, the more sketchy the building looks for food.
The better it is.
Yeah, I mean, any food
Yeah.
for that matter. I
Any
agree
sketchy
with
building,
that,
when
yeah.
there's a line of
Speaking
people
of sketchy
there.
buildings with really good burgers, right up the road, there's a place called Big Mouth Burger, $10.50. It'll blow your mind.
Done. There's a place not too far.
Is that the old
Wingfield.
laundromat?
I've been, we
Wingfields,
talk about
yeah,
Wingfields
yes,
multiple
that's-
times. We get in a
yeah.
bag and it's grease
Oh, dude.
dripping.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Yes.
100% delicious.
You gotta like not eat for 3 days before you go get that burger though. Yeah.
No, you don't have. You can eat the next day. I mean,
Those are
because
big.
it's a
Those are
pound
big
patty and a
burgers.
pound of
I'm
bacon.
all
It's
all
like
about
2
the country
pounds.
burgers.
Just like
burgers.
deliciousness and grease dripping. No, but the sketchier the building, and there's a pack of people there, because it can't be a sketchy building and nobody in there. A sketchy building with a bunch of people eating food there, that food is phenomenal.
Burger bars are a
1000%.
bonus.
Don't ask for any like cleanliness and things like that. Just know the food is good. Don't get no city rating. Fuck that.
No.
But on that note is what I bring that up to say is I thank you guys for hosting a lot of events outside of craft beer events here, but also supporting like beer bloggers and beer events here all the time. You guys are always open for that, so I do appreciate that. I don't know.
I mean, we're
Yeah, I need
always,
that.
doors are always open. I mean, we're friends with everybody.
No,
I mean,
you-
out there. So it's if we have a space for, I mean, our doors are open. I mean,
No,
if
100%.
anybody's wanting to do anything, and if we have the space for it, we do it.
No, 100%. You guys,
part of the culture,
everybody knows
yeah.
you guys, and you guys are involved within the community heavy. But I don't know if anybody else thanks you. But as far as like a beer drinker, you know, I do appreciate that because if I come here and there's an event here, you guys are fucking the best. Get all people to come hang
Appreciate
out,
it, man.
drink
Cool,
food, and
thanks.
drink beer.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that, man.
So, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Salute to that.
And this blend right here, I don't know what I'm drinking, but it's delicious.
It's lager and black lager. We call
called-
it the John Hancock.
Because it's not quite Sam Adams.
So it's our
Is that what?
Mocktoberfest.
Yeah, that's how we got
What is
it.
Mocktoberfest?
You didn't know that? I told you you should have been the Patrick Henry, but not everybody we got the Anarchy reference. So
Anarchist.
But touching on events, you know, we do a lot of stuff outside of the tap room. Different. We partner with the other local breweries around. We've done a couple. Like we did a Friendsgiving potluck thing at Thirsty
I
Growler.
thought you were about to mention
we have
someone.
not
I'm not gonna-
collaborated
I'm not
with
gonna
any
mention-
breweries.
No, I mean
No,
brew
we
pubs
collaborate
anything
with
else.
brew pubs. We absolutely collaborate with brew pubs.
Not
Yeah.
here.
We will just not mention who they are.
Fair enough.
TABC is not anti-collab. They're anti-us mentioning any retailer, which would be a brew pub.
Yeah.
So we've done some great collabs, and we've got one coming up called Super Gravity with a $sign.
Okay.
That
Hint,
we,
hint.
You could probably guess.
that we
who-
will not.
Who that is.
We
Yeah.
will not mention
Yeah.
who we collaborated with
No, we will
because that
not.
would be against the law.
But I will be there.
They're here for the
Yes.
party. They'll be here.
We'll announce that very soon.
Yeah.
As soon as we tell them.
So Super Gravity with a $sign. Since we brought it up, it's an English barley wine, a high gravity English barley
No,
wine.
that's what
it-
I told Jacob earlier. I'm super excited about that barley wine. Listen, I didn't realize I like barley wines, so I ended up with
Until you hung
Sean.
outdoors.
You didn't realize you like barley wines until you drank about 6 ounces of one.
And you're so happy about it.
Barley Sean,
You
you're
got
gonna
barley
like
wine drunk and 18 ounces of beer. And
We don't have any of that, do we?
This is
Wait,
true.
It's not tap.
No.
Okay.
No, this is
I
true.
get it
Yo.
for a
No,
sample.
sorry. No, what I would say is this: Sean is the what does he call himself? The barley wine boss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Barley wine is life.
Sean will turn you on to almost anything that he loves.
No, he
He's
definitely
a
loves barley
hell of a
wine.
beer drinker.
So first time Sean came on the podcast, we didn't know each other, but I reached out to them to come on the podcast. Came on, it was fun. And then we connected because I wanted to do like on the road stuff, but I don't know where to go and what to do. So he's big into the community. He knows everybody. So I'm like, let me get some ideas from you. We get to hang out. I'm thinking we're just doing a meeting. He came out with 3 barley wines. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is how it's gonna go. We did less talking at a personal meeting about business and where I should go. Then he came on the podcast. He came on the podcast and we barely drank. But we met in person. We drank a bunch of barley wine and I was fucked up.
They'll do it.
All
I mean,
right.
ours is 13 plus.
I was about to say, what'd you come in at?
Right around. I'm not. I'll have to check.
13
the
is
numbers,
the-
but right around 13.
I hadn't even got to try it yet, but they kegged it today.
I mean,
so.
just it's very similar to the somber but a barley wine.
Somber. So it's almost somber. Somber is 14%.
13, 14.
Let's go 14. I like the name. Like you round it up. This is better than the barley wine.
Name drop is 14. Somber with coffee and nib. I'm not going to get into numbers.
It's too late. 14%.
Yeah.
This is 14%.
So what happened was
What had happened?
So the barley wine, it's a big barley wine. We brewed it with house-made caramel sauce, just like we
And nobody's
we have
help.
in the
With my scar.
in the Somber. Joel is scarred from it. Yeah,
For life.
The secret sauce.
that's
That
your
is the
permanent
secret
tattoo,
sauce.
your first tattoo.
you know,
You got a
it's
collaboration
a real
brand.
big, rich, thick, viscous, the English barley wine.
Not supposed to play with others. That
So that's a
projection.
good. That's a question I'm gonna ask. Is an American style barley wine
English, yeah,
So,
English.
Couldn't help myself.
I do enjoy the English more, but that's where I mostly drank with Sean.
Yeah.
Now, when I do drink the American barley wine, it's not that I don't like it. I just feel like it's not ready. Is that a common thing?
Well,
You know,
American.
like
Think of
multi,
if you,
quadruple IPAs.
I do like
Sierra
that.
Nevada Bigfoot is the perfect example of an American barley wine, and that beer drinks like a boozy IPA, boozy double IPA. So it's the American barley wine and high end double IPA, low end triple IPA. The line kind of gets blurred there.
Okay.
Because American barley wines are hoppy. They're 100 plus IBUs most of the time. And we went the opposite, and it's real rich, malty, boozy. It's you'll taste the 13%.
No, I'm excited.
Bad boy.
Yeah,
I'm excited. No, I'm excited because I like stouts. So maybe that's why I gravitate to barley wines because the maltiness is good.
Kind of going OG on some of our beers right now because that's happening, and
This
then
is an ESB.
West Coast
our
IPA.
newcomer
yeah,
taking
yeah,
it back
yeah.
to the West Coast.
Back to Walker. I've been trying to bring this up.
Walker,
Walker made a West Coast style IPA.
That's not true.
I've been mentioning it in the market,
mean, it is.
and like I've had buyers. I was telling literally buyers in the market the last couple of weeks, like, "Hey man, we got a West Coast IPA." I'm like, "Dude, like, you would have thought it was a new style of beer," and they're stoked. They're like, "The hazes are cool, but I'm a little tired of them. I need something to go back to like original IPAs." And I'm like, "We got one coming, and that's Walker's baby." So,
Tell us about it, Walker.
yeah,
Go ahead.
It's a West Coast IPA.
So why did you?
that would be his answer.
Why did you want to make a West Coast style IPA versus New England or traditional style like regular bland?
Because
IPA?
we already had all the grain and the hops sitting in the back
That is a
room.
terrible answer.
horrible.
We needed to brew a beer. We
go back
we
in
had
the
the
house.
ingredients to do it.
Honestly, it was just one of those like.
Did you
don't
want to
get me
make a
wrong,
West
like,
Coast?
I love drinking the crispy boys. I love the hazies. I love lady glasses. Like that's fun, but I think maybe part of it is like it is old school. Like it's kind of like what I started doing is like those old school West Coast IPAs, and I think I spend a lot of time in our tap room too, and I think that's a big gap that we're missing in the tap room. Is like, yeah, we have IPAs, but not everybody that comes into our tap room is looking for the hazy. I mean, we still get those old school guys that are looking for that like nice bitter bite. They're like, oh yeah, this is nice like hop flavor, but like I just like bitter beer. And like so you realize like, oh, not everybody catches on to this trend. Like there are still people out there that like West Coast, and myself included. Like it's a nice change of pace.
I mean, there's IPA drinkers that'll come in and not order the lady glasses because it's a zero IBU beer. We don't add any hops in the kettle on that beer. It's a dry hop only beer.
Okay.
And it's not common. So
That's why I like lady glasses.
it's all hop flavor and juiciness and none of that bitterness.
I don't like the bitterness.
But there is bitterness to that beer.
There's a hint of it.
There's bitterness from just the hop oils of the hops, but it's not, technically it's not bitter because it's not IBUs. They haven't been isomerized and they haven't, carried over and done the process and getting nerdy.
Tell us about isomerization. How's that work?
That's heat
Science time with
and
two.
alpha acids and time.
So,
And-
for people who hear it, Todd is the master brewer of all master brewers.
The director of brewing operations.
what I mean by that, you're a director here at Oak Cliff Brewing, but what I would say, you're the master brewer of master brewers. Your name rings bells across other breweries. People know you. People like
We
your
got a lot of
stuff.
friends.
People. I think you have a lot of friends who make.
I've been
badass
been
beers.
doing this for a while, and I've
There's a place that you left a while back that I recently had a bunch of their new stuff, and it's like something's missing here.
Ah, man, all those beers are still great. All those single barrel dog beers are phenomenal.
I didn't
How you
even-
know that's what he's referencing?
I wasn't naming that.
Why,
I was
why
naming
were we
no
talking
word.
about India?
Yeah, we could have been talking about
Is that
India.
the brewery in India you went to?
Yeah.
People know
What
Todd
about
from
Windmill?
across the world.
Yeah,
on,
he's
bro.
traveled the world. You know. I heard you're going to Peru now.
Oh, why are you blushing now?
Are you going to
Peru would be such a no.
Now you want to get home.
Dude, you leaving us? What
I'll
do you
go
have
make
to tell
some rum
us?
in Peru.
Yeah, man. We go to Dominican Republic to make some beers.
I'm a big deal in the Andes.
How about that?
We actually brought his old lineage. He brought some for our bottle share Christmas party. He brought some of his old stuff from Prairie, and
We had to trade for it.
it was a white elephant, whatever. And my girlfriend stole it back, and yeah, I can't touch the bottles.
Y'all won.
It's like,
you
these are
haven't?
Todd's bake. No, she got all three.
What's she gonna do?
Hold it.
She wants them for herself.
You should take them and just snorkel them consecutively
I
in front of
should.
her and just like
No
pass
shit.
out and see if all your stuff's still there in the morning.
I don't know about that. Don't do that. No,
So
no,
what
no.
happens?
This is what happens.
I probably won't come to work the next day if I snorkel all those bottles.
No, if I do that right now, I'm not making it work tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow. That's not happening for anybody. No, that's awesome. But
We
no,
had some legit stuff.
you guys are the best, man. You guys are the best.
We're hoping he's
Vicky,
gonna.
you're the best.
No, no.
What's your name?
I don't know anymore. No, what I would say is this. I do want to see you guys out there. So again, I mentioned this earlier in the podcast. So I just want to mention again. First of all, come here. Come here. Check out the place for yourself. Drink the beers here, fresh as
Yeah,
you
I
can.
mean, we got beers on tap here that you can't get anywhere else. We've got 10 beers on draft all the time, and
Oh, you haven't had
plus
Berry House,
plus
have
all
you?
plus all of the
Gotta
all
get
of the
some Berry
blends
House.
that we do. So there's stuff that we'll do here
Might get the top
that
off.
we won't
No, I'm good.
that the market won't see.
No, so definitely come here first. But then if you come here, enjoy it, and if you truly don't just do it for name recognition, but if you do like the beer, go back to where you live, Plano, Addison. You guys already in Hatchie. Wherever
Ask
you guys
for the
go,
beer.
ask for the beer at your local tap house or your bar you go to. Ask for it. Tell them you like this place a lot. Give them a call. All they could do is say yes or no, or give them the call or that. So ask for it. The more people ask for it, the more you guys push. Get out there. And what I also was telling Jacob earlier is I do appreciate you guys being independently distribution. Independent, no offense to anybody else who doesn't do it independently.
Yeah.
But I do really, really appreciate you guys doing that because I just think money in house, man. This is money in house. I know it's more work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Keeps you also in tune with all of your accounts too.
Yeah,
You know
that's
them
true.
personally. They know you
Yeah.
guys personally versus just someone
Especially
else.
like this is the team, like all of us do everything.
Yeah.
Like nobody's above dropping off kegs, nobody's above brewing the beer, nobody's above doing anything. So like it's super personal. Like you interact with somebody who's here on the regular.
Yeah, I've been doing deliveries for. Well, Jacob was doing all sales and deliveries
What am I
till.
drinking here?
That's
that
our
berry
berry
house?
house. That's our farmhouse. We've done mangoes, we've done peaches, we've done blood oranges.
You had peaches?
That's berry.
We did
yeah.
peach right after I think we did 1 or 2 mango houses and then did a peach house.
I need to know when you guys peaches.
I don't know if we'll ever do a peach house again.
No, it
Peaches
didn't
are
work?
such
It
a
will
bitch to
never
process.
Never.
I hate peaches, dude.
You ever
I
peeled a
spent
peach?
8 hours.
You ever peeled a peach?
It's a bitch.
8 hours processing
It was
peaches
so
for that
bad.
beer.
I hated it.
Just do it with the skin on it. Does not help.
We
the
did
skin?
do it with the skin on it.
That was
Yeah.
a deep
Pitting
hitting
them.
and everything.
Deep pitting
It was-
them is the worst. Yeah.
It was a good beer.
I missed it.
It was a great beer.
All of our farmhouse fruit blends are good.
No, this is
That's raspberry, blackberry, and
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
This is fucking good, man. This
Thank
is,
you.
We let one of those out. We
Moth.
we sent it to the
Meadowson
mouse and moth.
Oh,
oh, I know that place. I was just
Yeah.
there for a company dinner.
They got the only keg available to the market.
Nah, so I was there at a company dinner.
Piss
and,
everybody off right now.
Well, that's a reason.
They pay a lot of money. No,
No, they
Medicine
don't.
Moth is a decent place. It's just not a place for me.
that's a great place. So again, it's a little on the
You got
high
things
end
against
of
stained glass
things, but
windows?
No, I like stained glass windows, but it's on the high end, like Todd was.
those stained glass windows are badass. Those came. Did you guys know those came from the Hard Rock Cafe?
No, I did not. Know
I believe that.
Yeah, because one, it's like Jerry Lee Lewis, and the other is Elvis, I think.
No, I was over there for a
Who's
company.
Elvis?
I was up there. Nobody important in history. I was there for a company dinner, and then my boss, my media boss, told his boss I was the beer guy. So I was like, all right, I don't know shit about beer, but okay. And they're like, what should I order? And I opened their beer list, and I saw a bunch of Avery. Like, oh, let's go get some Avery. Avery's solid, right? And I started seeing the prices on the Avery. I was like, $36.
Oh, I love those bottles of like the.
Oh yeah, they
like
have
the
stuff you
high-end
can't
stuff.
get anywhere else.
No, they do have some stuff, but I'm like, I don't know what your option of prices is, but this is some good stuff here. And I saw my hand project, and I just flipped real quick because I felt nervous. But I'm like, I saw the Avery. I'm like, I'm not ordering beer. I'm like, just gonna get water. $36 for one glass. I'm good. What's the oldest
they
scotch
get
you guys
their.
have? What's the oldest glass of water you have? I'll take that.
They're that one account in the market that gets some really, really special stuff. So
They have an extensive beer list, and I'm not knocking them for that. But I just know I got scared because I knew my immediate boss was buying everything.
Right.
So I don't want to be that dick. All right, the $100. I'm not eating no food. $100 on good beer. Let's do this.
I think that's the only place our beer is on draft where you can get bone marrow toast.
Ooh.
That's probably
so
a
good.
very
also very
safe
true.
guess.
did you go to Moth before you brewed today or something?
What?
Did you go to Moth today before you
Been
brewed?
really-
No, I was there a couple weeks ago.
What I would say,
Bone marrow toast.
I did.
bone marrow toast is
Very
good.
good.
What I would say for people who have been to Medicine Moth, they have some badass food, and they're big serving of food. So it's worth the price of the price they're serving
It's a
to.
legit spot.
That's
It's a
good
legit
spot.
spot.
Yeah.
It's
It
a legit
is.
spot.
It is. I've that's been one of the it's one of the more premier beer accounts in town. They're proud of what they have for a reason. It's a good spot.
Well, yeah,
The-
We gave them the berry house. We did the mango house more than anything.
Yeah.
So we've let that out at a few growler filling stations. Even that is.
If you guys
I mean,
are ever
we-
willing to do the peach again, I'll be here to help. Do it on Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, you'll help peel?
I'll help. I'll help.
I'll hook you up on that.
Change
You
things.
can go live on social media and do it.
Yeah, I'll put it
I'm
out.
peeling
Show them the
peaches.
labor of love.
Yeah,
30 minutes
no.
and he's gonna be like, fuck peaches.
Yep.
Listen. I may do it a couple of hours in. Be like, fuck that job, I'm never doing it again. But I want to try it because I missed it the first time. So I'm willing to put the work in. Also, side note, because I gotta go use the restroom real quick, I'm gonna take a quick 2-second break. But if you ever need help delivering stuff, I live on the north side of Texas, north side of Dallas. So let me know. I work down the street. I'll help out.
So am I taking
Alright.
over as host now?
You can do whatever you guys
He's
want.
gonna
Yeah.
pause.
Do whatever you
Do
want.
whatever you want.
He might take
Welcome
pictures.
to Dateline.
Welcome to the jungle.
Actually, probably need it. If you need a potty break too.
Oh, we're open.
Oh, hey.
Are we open now?
Oh yeah, looks like it.
I got that text from you 30 minutes after you sent it
Nice.
that said, shut everything down, saw it back. You know, I was like, you're sitting next to me. Did you just send that to me? Like, what did you,
Yeah. What the-
when did you go in there just now?
What the fuck is?
Yo.
We're doing a podcast.
We're being famous.
We're actually open now, so it may start getting a little more lively.
No, we get a little lively. We won't have to stay doing this much longer. What I would say is I can actually start drinking these beers. I've been holding in the piss for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, you need to start chugging. Start jugging.
I've been having to use the restroom for a while now, so I'm just looking at the beers added up. I'm like, damn it.
Uh-huh. I gotta close
No, that
that.
bear-
I can't get too far going.
That berry stuff is delicious.
You like it?
I really do like it. Really do like it. And I can only imagine how good that peach was. So I know it's a piece of shit to peel it and to get the.
It was hard, man. It really was. My hands, like, just from having to hold them, and you know, my hands were like drawn up, like locked up like this at the end of the day. It was.
As long as I'm not doing it by myself, I'm willing to help. If you,
Joel helped for a minute that day. I think he killed 2 or 3
what I would say
Jacob
is this.
showed up for a couple minutes too.
take pictures.
Like that was the day. Like
I was trying to make
as soon as you realize how hard it is, it's like fuck this. I'm gonna do something
I'm
else.
willing to help out, but I will not be the only one. If I'm the only one, I'm waiting to someone.
Walker and I stuck to it the last
We'll
time.
call you.
We were here. For, I
Call
think
me.
we were honestly.
we talked about doing.
We were peeling and processing peaches for like 8 hours straight that day.
We talked
brutal.
about doing big production on the mango house, and Todd was like, "I'm
Dirty
not
barrel
doing it
mango.
unless it's all hands on deck." I'm talking girlfriends, wives, sisters. It's like,
No shit.
yeah, like because that's the thing is like I think that's what we pride ourselves in is that we don't use extract. It's all fresh, and so that's what people appreciate about it. So when we put it in the market,
Facts.
we literally put a keg at Crafting Growler, and Robert was like, "Dude, keg was gone in 12 hours," and we're like, "Dude, we just delivered it today." It's like, yeah, it's gone. So people have an appreciation for that, and so we know the beer's going to sell and go fast, but it's also a labor of love. Like it takes some work.
But, I mean, with the stout, the somber, I've had a 24-hour brew day on that. Most of the time, it's about 20 hours when I
First
brew that
batch,
beer.
I left
Damn, 24
here.
hours?
I was here for 21, 22. I left here at like 11:30 at night, and he was still going after midnight.
I think I got home 2 or 3
Yeah.
that morning, and I got to work at, I think, 2
Yeah.
that a.m. the day before. It's a lot of work, and it's not an easy beer to brew. And if any one little thing goes wrong,
Does it mess up the
that
whole
sets
batch?
you back like exponentially.
Yeah.
It's a big. I mean, it's like dancing out there. There's you have to. There's a rhythm you have. If you miss one little thing, it literally could set you back 2 hours.
Yeah.
When that's your end result,
Shit's got to go right.
No, it
then
is.
we have-
the end result here is phenomenal.
and then we have Big Texas Beer Fest coming up. When
Oh yeah, that's
there's
true.
a lot of people who haven't tried it yet, and so when we actually
We'll
have
have the name drop at Big Texas, which is somber with nibs and coffee, and also vanilla. Somber has just regular somber always has vanilla in it and house-made caramel sauce. So we don't even mention that when we talk about. We say we have somber and imperial stout. That's an imperial stout with vanilla and homemade caramel sauce. Joel makes the caramel sauce every time we brew somber. Joel's there making the caramel sauce for me.
Oh, wow, that's bad. First of all, thank you.
So we'll have that at Big Texas. We'll have Super Gravity with the $sign at Big Texas, and then a couple of the more
lager and the hef.
Lager and the
Of course, that's the core.
sessionable
Those
stuff.
are core beers. You're gonna have them there. But what I would say is that I do appreciate that it is. You guys are a close knit group, but it's always all hands on deck. Everybody's doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's doing something. So that's a beautiful
Tight
thing.
team.
It's
Yep.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, we're all hands on deck, like all the time.
Except for the peaches part of it, but I'll be there. I'll be there for
Sometimes
peaches.
that too. Yeah.
No, but Big Texas Beer Fest. I know we talked about earlier that Custom Growlers, and I know we talked about Robert, and we love those guys over there a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to make
Big
a
good
podcast just about them, but they're having a women's event coming up in March. I know you guys are going to be part of that too, so that's phenomenal. And that's super
Tell me
exciting.
it? He hasn't told the wife yet that she has to be the representative as an owner, but also Stephanie's going to be there from the tap room.
Okay.
They want women there that are in touch with craft beer, obviously, and so especially locally. But
So unfortunately, I don't have a woman counterpart to be there representing, but I will be there.
yeah, no, it's going to be a great event. I mean, we'll all be present too. I mean, it'll be good support for everybody, but it's good to see that there's a huge influence with women coming over to craft beer because I remember even working in the liquor world, like when we started seeing a huge trend amongst women in bourbon, like people are starting to appreciate better, drinks,
No, this is
alcohol,
true.
whether it be liquor or beer or wine. But
Even coffee. Listen, my parents are older, and they grew up in the '70s, and they still drink the same stuff from the '70s. So when I tell them about newer ways, to make coffee, apologize for that. Newer ways to make coffee, good beer versus what they've been drinking. Not offend them about what they're drinking. Are better styles of rum. Like I'm from the Dominican Republic, we make good rum there. No offense to making the rum over there, But if you make local stuff here and it's fresh, like it's better. It's better right out there. Same thing with bourbon and all that other stuff. Like I just think the market or people with social media is allowing them to realize fresh quality stuff locally. It's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot better.
But and I will argue, I choose quality over geography 100% of the time. And I was going to touch
Fair
on
enough.
this earlier when we were talking about quality. Like it just because it's local doesn't mean it's quality.
I do. Facts.
And that's not a popular opinion. People preach local all the time, and that's great. If
But it's two
if
different
you can get
conversations.
quality, yeah, it is. It really is. If you can get quality, whatever it may be, locally, then great. But for me, like locale and geography does not trump quality for me.
Like no offense, like let's put Oak Cliff in with this conversation. This lager, right? I really like this lager. It's really good, solid lager, right? But let's say this is the best local lager, but it's not the best lager in the state, in the country.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, let's say that, and then someone says, "I like this lager because I think it's the best, or it's rated the best." You know, it's different. Now, if you just want to do local, fucking you guys are the best. I think you guys are one of the better ones. Without a shadow of doubt. And I say
appreciate
this.
that.
Thank you. We're trying.
I say this not to disrespect anybody else.
No, absolutely,
Not to
yeah.
disrespect anybody else. Because I think Four Bullets really do traditional English style beers really well. And a lot of the people, I think Manhattan Projects do their own style of beers very well too. But you guys, this lager is phenomenal. The hef is phenomenal.
The stout, I will be a little cocky here. I want to make the best.
100%.
I want to make the best stout in
I
the state
think
of
you have to.
Texas.
So we've been doing this for maybe in an hour now. And
finally
it's
warmed up.
Warmed up. And all the flavor profiles, so it's good.
You know, there's a lot of great stouts being brewed in Texas,
No.
especially down south, down in San Antonio, and
you gotta-
Weathered Souls is
gotta hook
making
up with those guys.
some amazing beers down there. Marcus is a phenomenal brewer.
I need to check them out. The San Antonio is one of my
But
destinations.
I want to make the best stout in Texas, and I'm not really going to be shy about it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. If the goal is to make the best out, I think you're on the route to it, right? In Texas, the only other one I think that I like over this is the San Antonio Brewer too, Kunstler, I think they're called. They make Cubano coffee.
Okay.
Now, here's the reason why. It's not that the style they're better than brewing than anybody else. It hits local to me.
Sure.
I lived in Miami for a while. I'm also Latin. I love Cuban coffee. It tastes like a fucking Cuban coffee when I drink it.
That's badass.
And because again, beer is personal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now that style may not be the best stout in the state. Not by mouth, it may not be the best, but it hits personal into my head when I drink it. It reminds me of my childhood, home, my family in Miami. You know, it hits home, so I like it a lot. So there's a lot of bias in that one. This is fucking good, man. This
Appreciate
is good.
it.
This is I think locally, I can't think of anybody else that does a better stout than this.
You know, we'll be putting that in not necessarily the name drop. We'll be putting barrels, but the base stout, we'll be putting barrels here before too long. And
Okay.
Well, and that's what I dig about these two, and even Walker coming on board now is that they're not afraid to bring in the big competition, and because we strive for greatness, and we're trying to make sure that we talk about quality. So we weren't afraid. Like when we were shooting for our lager, we were like, some of us love Firestone Walker. Like that's a legit.
Firestone's lager is great.
It's phenomenal.
That's what I wanted to do better.
We want to
than.
get
I
to
wanted
that
to be
point.
there.
We don't want to be
Fair
just.
enough.
We're not trying to get up to somebody that's just local. We want to be better. And so even with our hef, we're like, all right, I got a can of Live Oak Hef and brought it up here, and we tasted it against our hef. I'm like, all right, that's comparing the notes. And just
That's the
where
best way to do it. Yeah. No,
and they're tough. I mean, it's not easy to get there, but the fact that these guys are very open to constructive criticism, and they're also like
Competitive.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I want to be that. That's who we want to be because we're Oak Cliff. So
There's nothing wrong being competitive. I think it's beautiful.
yeah, but going into the market that way too, it's like I don't want to think small, I want to think bigger. And
Yep.
so I want to be the next brewery. Like shit, they went from like 10,000 barrels a year to 100,000, really quick. And how do we get there? Is having a very constructive production team that actually really strives for that. And so we give each other a lot of shit, but at the same time, it's like we appreciate that because it's it's what we want. And so when I go out in the market, it's like, no, this is what my dude's made. Like, this is what the guys are working hard for. So
And it's great. It's fucking great stuff. I think so. In my opinion, locally, DFW area representative-wise, the best people to make stouts: Oak Cliff, Manhattan Project, Three Nations. I think they're the top 3 in the DFW area. to make stouts.
There's other breweries around here making great stouts too.
They other, but I'm gonna say, in my opinion, this is Victor from Dallas Beer Talk opinion from what I've tried so far. I haven't tried all the stouts either, but from my opinion, I've tried a lot of local stouts.
Actually, we need to hook up with Sean though, because I think Sean got some bottles from Weathered Souls from their group, from their membership that they just released those bombers. So it'd be kind of cool to see what they're doing. I saw he posted something about it.
You took a lot of pictures, yeah. I know, big.
But it's good to see what everybody else is doing too.
I don't want to give them too much publicity, but they're trading like crazy, like up in Portland and shit. Like that's the biggest trade in Texas beer is like all the stouts from Weathered Souls.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But I want to try it. I haven't tried it yet either. But what I would say is this: what I ranked earlier is just Victor Santana's personal rankings of local stouts, right? Because Tubbs makes good stouts. I'm not knocking them. Full-grown Jack and all the other variants of stouts they make is good.
There's one of those that it was one of their. I forget which one it was, but it had cocoa nibs, coffee beans, ancho chilies, and vanilla. Very similar to a beer that I used to make up in Oklahoma.
I mean, that's another way people make beers too. They take variants of it and do it themselves. They can't forget Community and their Legion. They change variants of their Legion. It's good.
Lakewood and Temptress.
Lakewood and Temptress.
That's what I was thinking about earlier. Like
Lakewood's
that's the OG Texas.
They're been a staple in Texas, and I mean,
not
just Texas, but just North Texas alone. Like those guys have worked hard to get to where they are now. And you can appreciate that, and so
I do appreciate that, and I don't knock them. I like those beers too, but I think you guys.
Yup Nub over there, Tommy at Noble Ray.
I forgot about Yup Nub. That's a good one too. I think, in my opinion, and I'm gonna have a podcast coming up with Noble Ray coming up pretty soon. I think, and I'm gonna talk to them about that. I think Yup Nub is probably the best beer, and Baramp is probably the best beer they make. Those two beers right there, in my opinion, because I like those styles.
Yeah.
I'm also biased. Also, again, very biased.
Man, when Sex Canoe's good, that beer's good.
yeah.
They got some good sours in there too, man. I forgot the one they have with the guy because the thing about again, I don't want to keep talking about other people, but they have one with the guy throwing money up there.
You're talking
300,000 K millionaire.
$30,000 millionaire. Yeah.
No, man, we're
marketing's
talking about
cool shit.
other breweries. We got all those.
We got
all these
homies
guys are
everywhere.
homies. Like Tommy's a great friend of mine, the brewmaster at Noble Ray.
No, he's phenomenal.
You dig into his roots and where he came from. It's like we got homies at Deep Ellum too, and they come in here and hang out. And I mean,
that's one of the cool things about the Dallas beer community is like more than almost anywhere, the camaraderie between the brewers and the sales guys and just the industry people.
We take care of each other.
Can I just tell you my opinion?
Yeah.
And why I want to take the show? I didn't like beer before this show. Not like I hated beer and I'm never going to drink beer. But I did, but I wasn't a big fan of beer. What made me like
the community. Yeah,
100%.
That's what got me hooked. That's what got me hooked. I was on Beer Advocate. That's what got me kind of started in kind of the beer community. I homebrewed a lot. Please. And then I was doing a lot of beer trading, and I was on Beer Advocate. And this is early mid 2000s, like 2005, 2004, 2005, 06, somewhere around there. And the forums on Beer Advocate and just the people, and this is before like Facebook,
before real social media that it is we know now.
And that was like I spent my days on the forums on Beer Advocate instead of like scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I was scrolling through all the BA forums. And, I made really good lifelong friends through those forums. And that was mine, sorry.
I know it was yours, but I'm saying thank you for it.
And that's what the beer was was good too, of course. I mean, the beer's but I think the community and the involvement and people from completely different walks of life, being able to all conversate about this one thing or come together over this one thing being beer. I mean, I love it. It's the beer community. So I agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's what got me really super immersed and involved in beer too, is the beer community.
No,
not
100%.
just the beer.
I feel the same way. I had the podcast with Sean, a few weeks earlier. From this podcast, Sean had the Bottle Share, which was a national bottle share. He's collaborating with a few other big bottle share people. So we did the podcast, and they had that question asked me, why do I think Dallas is the best? And I will always state it this way. When it comes to beer, I haven't traveled to other beer communities. But from what I've seen, from my own eye test, and what I'm hearing, we do it better. I think as far as homebrewers, there's a massive amount of collaboration here between homebrewers and even with big brewing companies.
Dallas and Texas in general has some of the best homebrewers in the world.
The beer bloggers, as far as like people like myself, Jerry, and the Dallas Beer Squad, which we do we try to represent Dallas as much as we can, or DFW as much as we can, and showcase beer here. They have tons of collaborations, almost monthly, supporting each other. Brewers and the sales reps and the conversations I've had with all of them, they always big up each other, unless there's a personal strife, which people always say there's a personal strife, right? There's always one, but there's always honesty. But it's always honesty to it. It's like there's a personal strife with A and B. There's nothing to do with them as a company, but it's a personal strife between A and B person. But it's even with that, the sales reps, the distributors, and the beer people always say, we do this well, but if you're looking for A, B, and C, I know these people over here do it well. And it's always a big up of the community versus a downplay, like, F those guys over there, we do everything better. It's from top down, from owners to owners, to brewers, sales reps. From top down, it's always a collaborative effort. And you get the one-off people who are assholes. I'm not saying there aren't assholes here, but vast majority of people are super collaborative, super inviting.
We're friends with everybody.
Except the assholes.
We're even friends with the assholes.
You know the assholes. You let them come in here. You let the assholes come in here.
We're friends.
We let them come in. We let them come in and drink our beers.
I don't think they've been in yet.
No, which is fine, but at the same time, it's like with the masses, like we all come from that same thread, so we've embraced it, and so the ones who want to be the individuals, more power to you, but at the same time, the collaborative effort amongst the entire brewing community has been great, because I mean, we've even got, I've had a couple of the breweries come here like, hey man, I took my bottles to Tide, so what do you think? I mean, Deep Ellum came in here and dropped some bottles from their stouts. I just want his input, and vice versa. We go there, and they refine a new lager, which is cool. So it's cool to feed into each other. But even I was up at was it last week? I was up in Frisco, Little Elm. Stopped in to see Moose. Moose and I go way back, and Flicks Brew House in Frisco, Little Elm.
Oh wow! I haven't checked them out yet.
And he's doing his own thing, but he's been around the block for a while. But he's like, dude, I want to pick Todd's brain, and so every time we go there, he sends us with a crowd. Let me know what you think. But he wants to collab with them. He wants to. I mean, it's one of those things that these guys share yeast and hops and like all that stuff together.
I literally just
made
this morning. I was waiting on a chemical order for some sanitizer, and I ran it out. So I posted on Facebook. We have a Facebook group for a lot of these the local breweries. And I had 4 different people say, "Yeah, I got you covered. If you can come by and get it, I've got you covered." So I was just over at another local brewery, and they gave me a whole, bucket of my sanitizer, and I wouldn't think twice about asking or giving. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've loaned our keg washer out to local breweries when their keg washers are down. We've loaned hops. We've loaned grain. It's
It's a
Sure,
camaraderie.
we're all competitive with one another, but it's not cutthroat competition.
I think that's the key.
It's not
I think that's a
cutthroat.
key. I think that's a key here in this community,
Yeah.
and why I think we're better than everybody else. And Drew, my co-host, I love him to death, and he always says that's the New Yorker in me, because we think we're better than everybody else.
Hey,
Fair
I'm
enough.
from California, so I got you there.
Fair enough. I think,
We're gonna start the East Coast and West Coast.
no,
Go.
Y'all gonna fire that
I
up?
just think, in my opinion, I think the Coast do it better. But for me, I've been in Dallas going on 11, 12 years now. What I would say is this: I really, really enjoy the beer community. This is honestly, prior to this, I had no attachment to the DFW community. I was just living here, not involved in the community.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I had friends here. I've worked here for over 10 years. I've lived here, but I never had an attachment to this place, nor enjoyment to being in DFW until I've got involved with this, doing this podcast and doing this beer stuff. And I really, really think I've been to Austin, I've been to San Antonio, and even Texas in general. I think DFW is a better beer community. I haven't been to Houston yet, so I'm not gonna knock on Houston yet. But I think, in my opinion, we're better.
You should visit so you can knock on them.
There you go.
Because I agree.
I can't knock it unless I've been there. But I still think we're better, and I think we're better than Vegas. I think we're better than New York. I think we're better than California. On the aspect of what Todd just said, we're not undercutting each other. There's no undercut. There's no I'm gonna step on him and undercut him on his beer. Just like, you know what?
You know, and I can't think of anybody else in town who is shitty to anybody else. Everybody, like, there's.
We all love each other. Like I don't even personally target anybody that's local, but pulled up to Craft and Gallery last week to visit Robert, and I walked in and there's 8 other brewery reps sitting there talking. We know there's only so much room on the wall. We have so many beers to present, but it got to a point where everyone's like, all right, well, I'm gonna be here for an hour, so guess what? Let's start buying beers. And people just started sharing and buying, open up tabs, and that helps not only our accounts and their business, but they started seeing it makes the buyer side easier, knowing that the brewers are working together. Like they're trying to each other's beers out, they're hanging out,
And even the negotiating, like, hey man, I think this might be good for this beer.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that personally. I've seen it at Craft and Growlers. 2 brewers drink each other's beer. I'm like, you know what? Just add this. I think will be.
I don't
step
do it
over.
unless somebody asks. But if somebody asks for help,
I don't know if they ask each other. You know, it's just from walking by. So I don't know. And again, I'm not gonna say they forced it on each other.
Yeah,
They might have been
yeah,
having the conversation
yeah.
like, try this
Yeah.
kind of thing. I don't know, but I know they're 2 brewers, and because that's where Robert told me, because I asked them, like, are they home brewers? No, they're brewers, like big boy brewers. And I was like, okay, cool.
but I've got a couple accounts I walked.
Big boy brewers.
Robert didn't call it big boy brewers, but that's what I call it. You know, you get your home brewers, and then you got the big boy
brewers. But I've got a couple accounts too we walk into, and they're like, don't come into my account drinking your own shit. Like, you have enough of that. Drink something else on my board, because they want you to appreciate beer.
Or just try it. You know,
Yeah.
you might catch something like, you know what, that's be interesting. Even if you drink something else, be like, you know what they're going for here might be better in something I got in my wheelhouse.
Dozer's one of them. He wants you to come in and drink other beers that he's got. So.
Those are Mitch.
I was drinking all of our beers Sunday night.
I'm down to drink everywhere else, but I think this is
But so is he, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
what I would say is I apologize for ranting towards the end of this podcast, but
Isn't that what these drunken podcasts are? Like
Supposed
towards
to
the
be.
end, they just turn into rants towards the
Yeah.
end.
yeah, but I still feel bad when I'm the one ending the rant.
Like I haven't drank in like a month, and you guys got 3 beers in me. And I'm
Salud, let's drink another
loose
beer.
lips.
Yeah.
Let's drink another
Oh
beer.
man, I'm empty.
But honestly, I do love the Dallas beer community a lot. I love you guys a lot. I think you guys are doing some badass stuff.
We appreciate the support.
We do.
What I would say is, if you do yoga, I'm here. I'm not doing
That's
yoga.
it.
If
2
I'm gonna
days.
do yoga, and if the stigma or the typical stereotype of somebody like cutting some wind with beer, yeah, it'd probably be me. So,
I mean, me too.
I'm not gonna do it. So just
Listen, I'll do
probably
it.
don't want me to.
I'll wear my logo and everything. I'll do it. But
We'll put you in the corner.
yeah, put me by the back.
No, but I haven't been to one of the yogas we do here yet. I've always got something going on the weekend, but it looks awesome. Like they set up out there.
We're doubling in
you got
size every time.
Doubling in size every time. So the draw. I mean, people are coming, and it's. A local instructor here from the building is the one that does it, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, if I was in town most Saturdays,
For
I
all
would
levels.
be- Yeah,
So don't be worried about your flexibility.
yeah,
Just
all
show
levels.
up.
This is not for just
Yogis.
like yoga experts, yogis. You know, it's even novice.
I'll bring my camera. I will check it out. No, but on that note, guys. First and foremost, thank you for having me here.
I appreciate
Our pleasure.
Coming, man.
Always.
Record. So we got a few big events coming up for you guys. Of course, North Texas Beer Week. Not North. I said
North Texas Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. I like you, Matt Dixon, but it's not your week.
You got some time to build that back up.
It's not your week. North
But
Texas
Chad
Beer
and
Fest.
Nelly, yes, this is your up and coming
Yeah,
month.
big Texas. I see that as. I look at the Big Texas Beer Fest as the premier
That's
beer
the
festival
opening
in
weekend.
Dallas.
Yeah.
That is
Starts it all.
that's what kicks it all off.
I think I agree, or I could be speaking out too much, but I think that starts the beer process for the whole year.
Yeah.
Like it kicks it off, and then you have nonstop from that into
Festival season at that point. It's-
Yeah, that's the
It's
first
coming
festival season. And then you've got, besides that, you got St. Patty's rolling out on Lower Greenville.
I think that's it.
We'll be down there in select bars,
We're
but
gonna try to do it like an event that we hang out and walk around,
Yeah.
some, hang out in big.
hop
For
around together.
promoting things, we have an event on 420 at Thirsty Growler.
oh, we do?
Oh, big
We
up
do.
to Thirsty
Oh, that's
Guys.
right, we do.
Yeah, it's
That's the one in
Back
County,
up
right?
from-
it's all the breweries participating are bringing a baked good.
Oh, yeah, the big
So you're making a
to-
special beer for that?
Nah, we'll do some somber
Some
cupcakes
dank?
or something.
Someday.
Are you sourcing
dank,
some
yeah.
dank that you're
Well,
gonna talk
it plays in great. It's like as soon as I got the email
Brownie.
about this being on 420, it's like baked goods on 420. I was like, this is too easy. This is too easy. Softball here.
Sombre as a brownie.
Can I can make some baked goods too.
But it's on 420 at Thirsty Growler. I think it's a brewery bake off is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the breweries
I could be a ref,
I
judge.
think they're probably going to be some judges. I mean, you
would imagine.
hit Courtney up. She'll her and Brittany.
Courtney from who?
3 year.
Who's Courtney?
What's good?
Coop, or our phenomenal friend from Coop.
Sorry, Courtney, we love you.
Well, first of all, I haven't had Coop on this year, but Courtney, a massive supporter of us on
Oh
this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. She, when we were first opening up, you were one of the people. She's like, "Oh, you got to talk to Victor. You got to talk to Victor. You guys got to get on Dallas Beer Talk."
No.
So it's
Courtney is phenomenal,
Yeah.
and I need to text her anyway. Just see.
so. I
the
think
table.
her and Brittany, I think, are putting it together. They're
Battleship.
the beer event masters. And
Well, they do a lot of great stuff.
they do. They really do.
Side note on that with Courtney is that we were at the event at Lone Star Taps and Caps, and I walked in there, and so the contrast between her and her counterpart on how they organize events, it's a mile apart. So I walked into Courtney's Lone Star Taps and Caps event, and it was neatly organized, beautifully arranged.
I was there. That's when I
That's
met
when
you.
we met
Was
each
that-
other. Yeah, it was beautifully arranged, and every piece had a purpose. And her stance where she stood had a purpose, and it was all symmetry. Then her counterpart, Drew, sent me a picture. It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice.
It
But-
was your friend's stick figure sketch of a display.
Definitely, it was. It was a mile apart.
She's good at what she does, man. She's awesome. She
no,
really
by
is.
a mile. So support
She's
the
real
Coop
cute
too.
too.
Oh yeah, luckily.
I know why you say
I know
that.
it's kind of funny. I was at Common Desk the other night. I popped in to go see Corey, and they were doing the Bells, Hobson, launch, whatever. But I ran into Lauren Embry, and we were talking about the OG women of like local craft beer. And we're talking about Lauren, Holly Wallace, Courtney, Brittany. Like we need to get all the girls together and go like do a happy hour.
Women.
And
All the
just
women
well, not
together.
just women, just get them like.
Support them.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten together. I mean, Holly Wallace is now doing off-premise, so she didn't see anybody.
I don't know Holly Wallace, but I know Courtney.
Yeah,
You know.
she's with Shiner now, but she was with Ballast Point for a minute, and then Lauren Nimber came from Karbach, and then is now with a German beer company, it's a Stiegel. But we're like, we need to get the whole group together again, get the band together, and get everybody together. And just,
So you guys, what you guys hear now? They don't even just support. They support people here locally sell them for local beers or not. They're here to support them all.
We
absolutely.
support each other. It's a big family.
It's a big,
I mean, there's no. I don't see the point in being shitty and being cutthroat. And,
Yeah.
No, 1000%.
We're
craft beer is still young here, and craft beer is
Beer,
still
we want
young.
to drink together.
yeah. I mean, we're all friends.
Yeah.
We don't want.
And we just don't try to get drunk. Let's be honest. We all just trying to get drunk. I am.
public.
I never
Yeah.
get drunk.
Drunk in public.
On your podcast.
Only on my podcast. So you guys hearing this? You come
only
get drunk on my
podcast.
podcast. Get drunk in public, and also don't drink and drive. You take a lift.
Absolutely.
All the train stations is right across the street.
Right there.
Oh yeah, Dot Rail stops right here, and you can hit 5 breweries while you're doing it too.
Yeah, so that's the point of the our upcoming series on IGTV. We're gonna start doing that. We're gonna be taking dark rails, bike
Oh, wow.
trails.
That'll
I'm
be
gonna
fun.
do that. I'm gonna try to do that bike trail. Upcoming bike trail coming up.
Which one? 6-pack or
6-pack.
or
I'm gonna email those. They emailed me to email them. No, they Facebooked me to email them about setting up a podcast. So I'm gonna email them soon.
That's a lot of social
Send
media.
them a voicemail and a text message.
Yeah, no, I shared their event coming up on Facebook, and then they tagged me saying, "Oh, I appreciate the support." I'm like, "No, sure, come on the podcast, let's do something." And they sent me the email address. Email us. I'm like, "Okay, done. We'll do it." But on that note, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get out of here.
Okay, I was gonna get another round.
You want to get another round? We can keep going. No, but no, we wrap it up. First and foremost is this. Come to Oak Cliff Brewing. Come check them out. And if you like their beers, and only if you like them, let's be honest to yourself. If you like them,
Only if, yes.
If you don't, it's cool.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
It's
Drink what you like, man.
Drink what you like. If you don't, but honestly, if you do like it and you don't have it in your local bar, ask for it. Trust me.
Yeah, that's the best way to get us out. That's the best way to get us where you drink is ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely support. If you like it, ask for them everywhere you go. Second of all, follow them on social media. Oak Cliff Brewing, Facebook, website, and on Instagram. You get all the updates. So you got this weekend, which is going to pass by the time this podcast pops up. But you got the puppy share, but then you have the yoga, then you have upcoming events here at the Tap House, then other places coming up too. So check them out, follow them, support them, show them some love. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Tosh,
Dude, always
Appreciate
a
it.
pleasure, brother.
always a
pleasure.
pleasure. Always a pleasure, brother. And don't drink and drive, guys. We love you. Peace.